Another day, another winning trade. Let's get into it here. So, going into the day, starting off with that top-down analysis, we want to start off with the higher time frames here. So what I did was I started on the 4 hour, and I noticed that before I took this trade, we were in a 4 hour imbalance, a 4 hour imbalance right there. And to be honest with you, when you're trading the 1 minute chart, you don't necessarily need to look at the higher time frames like the 4 hour or the daily, but it can help. It can help with your bias for sure. And then I looked at the daily and realized that we had a CISD here. So we closed above these down closed daily candles. So we get a CISD, we close above this daily order block. This to me is very bullish. But more importantly, and this is what I sort of spend the most time looking at, to be honest with you, is the 15-minute. And when you're trading the 1 and 2 minute, you don't really need, again, to look at the higher time frames too often. Maybe just take a glance to help you with the bias, but the 15-minute is going to be the bread and butter when you are trading the lower time frame, I promise you. So again, going into the day, what I noticed was the fact that we had low resistance liquidity building up here. And now it is nearly 1 in the afternoon, and you can see that price is slowly trending to take this LRLR, and I can guarantee you by the end of the day, this high will get taken. But what made me super bullish on the day was really this LRLR, and the fact that we came down early on in the day, and we swept the London lows right here, and we barely displaced below these lows. So I've been paying a lot more attention to how we take lows. So for example, in this case, you can see this wick comes down, we take this low, but we barely displace below it. So that to me is another indication that we're gonna wanna be bullish on the day. We're not displacing below these lows. We're simply just wicking these lows, taking these traders out. Now, if this candle looked like this and closed like this, again, maybe we want to keep going lower. But I saw this wick, and this to me is a manipulation leg. We literally take this low by a couple points and then immediately start to reverse. On top of that, we inverse this 15-minute fair value gap. So this 15-minute fair value gap gets inversed right here. Again, we barely displace below this low, London lows, stopping these traders out, and then we immediately reverse. So everything to me is pointing bullish. And as well, we have this bearish 15-minute up here, and this will be important in a second. So these were sort of the confluences that gave me the bullish bias for the day. So as soon as we closed above this 15-minute, as soon as we saw this wick, we have this bullish 4 hour here. We have that daily CISD, the change in state of delivery. As soon as we inverse this 15-minute, I hop to the lower time frame and I start looking for my entry model, which is the inverse fair value gap. And as you can see, we get a nice play right here. So again, 4 hour, tap into that 4 hour, barely displaced below that low, stopping these traders out. And then we get a you could almost call this like a Judas swing, like it's almost like a fake out in the morning. So we get that Judas swing, that fake out to the downside. We get a nice little liquidity sweep, and then we immediately start to reverse. We have a singular fair value gap right here. And I entered on this candle close. As soon as this candle closed, I decided to enter long. We get that liquidity sweep. We get a lot of speed and displacement going through this fair value gap, inversing it, showing that we're not respecting this downside, meaning that price may want to reverse here. So I enter in long, stop below the inverse, and then I believe I TP'd at this high right here. So this swing high. And the reason for that TP is simply because we had this bearish 15-minute gap here. So I am not trying to fade the higher time frame gaps. So as soon as we enter this, I decide to take everything off the table. And as you can see, we hit that 15-minute gap again and then start to reverse to the downside. We get a little bit of consolidation and then we continue to move back up, which was really the bias for the day. Was bullish. But yeah, man, there was a lot of opportunities today, a lot of trades to be taken. I know Spen really capitalized on today's price action. I believe he took this long right here And the reason for that is simply because we inverse this 15 minute, then he hopped to the 1 and saw this long opportunity. We had a nice liquidity sweep, and then he entered once we inverse this fair value gap here, and then he took this long for about 30 points. So anyway, this was my trade on the day. I TP'd at this high, looked a little something like this, and took everything off once we entered that bearish 15 minute, because odds are you will get a small reaction when you do enter those higher time frame PD arrays. So I did not want to get too cute with it. I am happy with my, I believe it was about 25 points on the day, made about $400 trading seven micros, and yeah, man, that was it. One and done for the day. Happy with the way I traded, happy with my patience this week. And yeah, it just goes to show you how important patience really is. We did not take a trade on Tuesday. We did not take a trade on Wednesday. Thursday, we took one break-even trade that really should have been a winner. I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, man, Friday, we ended up capitalizing, got some decent price action, and was a solid week. So let's see what's in store for us next week. And yeah, one and done. Great to end the week. Great to end your Friday off with a nice winner. Yeah.